Why is body fat important? Almost everything we're told today about weight problems and weight control is false information. A good example are the words body fat, so rarely mentioned and basically unknown, yet body fat is the most important thing about weight loss and obesity. That's because body fat is the only fat that causes obesity. The first thing you need to know is that you do not get fat by eating fat. Edible fat is natural and it is essential to a healthy food plan. It has nothing to do with the fat that sticks to your body. The second thing to know is that body fat isn't something you eat, and you will only ever see it when it begins to bulge your tummy, hips and thighs. Only your body can create body fat. It does so only when you eat processed, unnatural foods. They're not created by nature and are therefore rejected by your digestive system. When you eat processed foods, your body is left with an awful lot of stuff it can't process. But all that stuff has to be distributed somehow, somewhere within your body. There is only one thing your body can do, and that's to convert all unnatural foods into body fat, which leads to obesity. When you choose to eat natural foods, your digestive system goes to work to process those foods. It separates proteins, carbohydrates, and fat. Proteins are used to build and repair your skin, bones, muscles, tissue, and organs. Natural carbohydrates are your body's favorite fuel, but not exclusively. When carbs are lacking, your body will convert proteins into carbs. Your body converts all carbohydrates into glucose. Glucose is liquid sugar. The thing to remember is that all natural foods are processed by your digestive system. All unnatural foods are converted to body fat. Body fat can only be managed by your own body. It'll not disappear unless your body decides to get rid of it. Body fat is the fat that sticks to your arms, your tummy, your hips and thighs. It clogs your arteries and nestles around your vital organs. It's derived from the processed foods you eat. In other words, the more processed unnatural foods you eat, the fatter you get. Body fat is unique. It can only be created by your own body. It is created entirely from unnatural, processed foods. Experts like to say that carbohydrates are the most important food. They're usually referring to processed foods. But since they're not natural, they should never be called carbohydrates. They're not a natural food. As to natural carbohydrates, our ancestors went through an ice age and many famines with virtually no carbohydrates. I point this out because there are experts today who claim that these fake carbohydrates are essential to a healthy body. These self-nominated experts are usually funded by the cereal and snack food manufacturers. Their statements are therefore self-serving. Naming fake processed foods as carbohydrates is dangerous. Only nature can create carbohydrates. Fake foods are a ploy promoted by the food industry. They want to link their products with something authentic. Real carbohydrates are important. They're our vegetables and fruit, but they're in no way linked to the factory-produced products that fill the aisles of our supermarket today. A daily serve of greens and fruit will more than serve the fuel needs of most of us. The one fact to remember is that protein is essential to our survival. We can live without carbohydrates, but we cannot exist without protein. As for processed foods, we are unlikely to exist as a species beyond this century unless we eliminate fake processed food from our daily diet. Processed foods are addictive because they're made that way. They've caused arguably the biggest, most damaging addiction we have ever been exposed to. The products are legal, they're available everywhere, and there's no protection for our children or ourselves. It starts with baby formulas and continues throughout our lives. So finally, what happens to the natural fats we eat? They will always be processed by our digestive system, and they will always keep us slim and healthy. It's so ironic that the fat we eat, which can only be natural fats derived from meat, fish, butter and other natural foods, are the fats we're demonizing today. Yet they're perfectly healthy and will never make you fat. There is one thing you should keep stored in the back of your mind at all times. Your digestive system will always reject processed foods. But if you persist in eating it anyway, know that it will end up as body fat. Know that the more processed foods you eat, the fatter you get. It's simple and it's inevitable. It's hard to avoid processed foods. They come in so many guises. But the addiction that taints all processed foods is all the more reason to resist the temptation and turn your thoughts to our real foods before they all disappear.